Good morning, everyone. I'm Blake the Great, your guardian of the game shop. Normally I'd have a more entertaining intro, but it's 7:50 in the morning and my roommate just on the other side of the wall is still sleeping. I want to make this video as quickly as possible. Big news has happened. Microsoft has purchased, or is in the process of purchasing and finalizing the purchase of ZeniMax Studios. ZeniMax Studios, the owners of Bethesda games and many other studios. This is huge news, primarily because, all the times that Sony fans have been saying, oh, Microsoft, you don't have Spider-Man, ha ha ha, you got Xbox tears, or all the times that, God of War Xbox tears, ha. Yeah, well, karma's a bitch, isn't it? No, but seriously, it's unclear if games like Skyrim or Fallout, if those games would stay exclusive to Microsoft, and I say that because Microsoft has an interest. They have an interest in putting out those games on PlayStation consoles as well as Switch consoles if it was possible. And the reason is because it makes them money. But now Microsoft has bolstered Game Pass because by basically saying, well, you could buy a PlayStation and buy those games, or you can just buy an Xbox, and if you have Game Pass, they come for free. That's a huge statement. Not to mention the fact of I'm just loving this announcement because it means that Microsoft has so many more studios. They now have so many more game studios. They have, I was looking at the list and I have notes that I just put them over there, but effectively they're talking about things like something like 6 to 8 studios, because it's not just Bethesda. It's the team that makes the Elder Scrolls Skyrim game or the Elder Scrolls Online games. It's a mobile team. It's the team that was originally making the original Prey that blew everyone's minds, then got canceled, and then became a new studio. It's obviously the team that makes the new Wolfenstein reboots. It's the teams that make Doom and Rage. This has so much potential for Microsoft. They now have so much game talent. Whenever they have a game that they need to bolster, not R&D, but in crunch periods where a studio like or a publisher like Activision will grab some talent from a different studio and say, hey, work on this so we can help make this game out faster. You have Microsoft now having that ability with more studios to kind of bolster other studios. You have the fact that you could see Microsoft IPs being made by Bethesda Studios. Like, what if a Halo game was made by Doom? It doesn't have to be, a mainline Halo, but it could be like The Flood or something. Apologies for doors closing. It could be The Flood, there could be a Halo game based on The Flood, and Doom could show off the more brutal, mature, rated M for mature kind of stuff, like blood and gore. I think that'd be really cool. You have Gears that could be made by any of those studios, like the Doom studio, like a first-person Gears game. That'd be really interesting. You have the potential for Bethesda games being made by Microsoft studios, including Obsidian. So you could see a Fallout New Vegas 2. In regards to exclusivity, as I said before, I don't think it makes sense for Microsoft to long-term do exclusivity and never release those titles onto PlayStation platforms at the same time. I do think it would be smart for them to make most of their games timed exclusive so that way they can sell Xboxes more, and then Sony all of a sudden is like, well, you're going to get the game, you're just going to get it a year later. And I think that's a fair compromise. And it might even encourage Sony to be like, hey, maybe you can give us a little love that way too. As far as the games that have been announced that Bethesda's working on, Tokyo Ghostwire, Deathloop, I don't think those are timed exclusives anymore for Sony. The question is, will Microsoft release them at all, or even release them as third-party, or release them again as a timed exclusive against Sony? It's unclear. And based on Microsoft's statements, the recent statements, they have not clarified it, and they even said in their own statement, we're not going to talk about it, the implications of it beyond what we've just announced. So I hope you enjoyed this little update. It's definitely going to be an interesting. Definitely going to be an interesting generation. Microsoft could theoretically buy another big group of studios like Capcom or Konami. Well, Konami I don't think would make any sense because they don't really have much talent to be had anymore. But you know, you could easily see them pulling it with one other big group, and all of a sudden Sony looks formidable, but Microsoft has plenty of stopping power behind it. Let me know what you thought about this video, and let me know what you think is for the future of Bethesda and Microsoft and Sony, and how it relates to the entire game industry. I'm Blake the Great, your guardian of the game shop, reminding you always to keep on gaming. Goodbye.